Well, here we are, everybody. We are covering all of the Wings short films. So, I got my pad and pen, and that's gonna go on a journey. Let's go on a journey.
The realms of day and night, two different words coming from two opposite poles, mingled during this time.
Whoa. That's crazy. Okay. Starting off kind of interesting.
My parents' house made up one realm. This realm was familiar to me in almost every way. Mother and father, love and strictness, model behavior, and school.
Okay.
별이 날아 숨겨냈던 날 찾아줘 이 거짓 속에 헤어날 수 없어 내 웃음을 돌려놔줘 별이 날아
Whoa. This is actually kind of creepy. Okay. This is wild. Holy cow.
It was the first fissure in the columns that had upheld my childhood, which every individual must destroy before he can become himself. Such fissure and rents grow together again, heal and are forgotten. But in the most secret recesses, they continue to live and bleed.
I'm sure there's better tools you can use than that. Huh. The nervous tick. Oh.
그때 나한테 왜 그랬어? I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, my sister. 숨겨도 감춰도 지워지지 않아. So cry, please dry my eyes. 저 변하지, 내 죄를 비춰줘. 더 깊이, 내 죽을 것만 같아. 그 벌을 받게 해줘. 제 죄를 사해줘. 제발. 전화 한 통만 남겨주세요.
Weird. So the wings actually, these circles actually have kind of
There
some...
are numerous ways in which God can make us lonely and lead us back to ourselves. This was the way He dealt with me at that time.
Whoa. Oh. Passed out. That's the piano everybody was singing, right? Wait. Hold up. This is about the halfway point. And I want to... Actually, no. Maybe I'll save it till the end. I want all the information first before I start speculating further. The tire track, fire, cut, apple.
The other realm, however, overlapping half our house, was completely different. A loud mixture of horrendous, intriguing, frightful, mysterious things, including slaughterhouses and prisons, junkyards and screeching fishwives, calving cows, horses sinking to their death, tales of robberies, murders, and suicides.
Interesting. Oh, okay. You need to survive. This is like a fever dream. Interesting.
With a face that resembled her son's, timeless, ageless, and full of inner strength, the beautiful woman smiled with dignity. Her gaze was fulfillment, her greeting a homecoming. Silently, I stretched my hands out to her.
Mama. Okay. Okay, now it's J-Hope. Whoa. Whoa. Okay. This is so surreal. Wait, now that one's distorted. It's changed.
The bird fights its way out of the egg. The egg is the world. Who would be born must first destroy a world. The bird flies to God. That God's name is Abraxas.
Oops. White lilies. Huh, whoa, okay. More fire. White lilies.
믿는 게 아냐
Huh.
버텨보는 거야 할 수 있는 게 다 이것뿐이라서 머물고 싶어 더 꿈꾸고 싶어 그래도 말야 떠날 때가 됐는걸 Yeah, it's my truth It's my truth 온통 상처투성이겠지 But it's my pain It's my pain 그래도 발버둥치고 싶어 Maybe I can never fly 저기 저 꽃잎들처럼 날개 단 것처럼 안 돼 Maybe I can touch the sky 그래도 손 뻗고 싶어 달려보고 싶어 조금 더
That's the painting. Yeah. Piano. Painting of a bird. The hallway with the doors that are scratched. Interesting. Okay. Whoa. Okay. All right. So a couple things before we start. I know that there is a book that's tied to this. Here I have it written down. Herman Hesse, or maybe it's Hesse. I'm not exactly quite sure how it's pronounced. The book called Damien. And so with a small description of the book, here's kind of what I have listed out here. These are the things that immediately caught my eye. Like I said, when I get done with all this, I'm going to kind of take all my notes and understanding and kind of like compile it into kind of my translation here. So the very first thing that we see color melting off of anything that has color and draining to gray and white. But then even that starts to melt. Fire comes back and makes a return with the starting fire of the painting Crows and Wings. There's a shot where he has the light shine on him and he's got the wings. Then the thing that I think might actually have caught me off guard the most was Jimin's part with the hand and the camera. I don't know if this is something to do with like maybe some sort of like idea of like having to be in front of a camera all the time as like an idol. But then afterwards too, there is, I have written down here is falsehoods. And like I think the whole idea of like the other realm could play a part into that as well. But I think the reasons why I thought falsehoods is because I felt like that when I was watching this spot, that there was a lot of reality that was being shown and then a different reality to what actually was. One thing that I feel like this topic has talked a lot about has been just the overall isolation and loneliness. But the thing that I thought was really different too is also after that, when we get to Tae's part, and he seems very different. He seems like he's almost wanting the trouble. Or at least maybe he thinks he does. So like he's like almost kind of happy about it. So I thought that was kind of interesting. Then I thought to myself, when it moves forward here, we get this spot right here.
그때 나한테 왜 그랬어? I'm sorry, my sister.
So I thought that it was interesting that it was the sister, and it brings that up. So now I'm curious. In the very beginning, when we saw the fight between the two of them, that was portraying that attack that, on her, was that Tae's sister in the story. Again, not 100%. Haven't fully put any final thoughts. This is just me kind of thinking. But then the thing that I find so interesting is then we move on to obviously the piano part where it's burning. And to me, it's got this like feeling of desperation and feeling lost and just complete and utter no idea, of what to do or how to go about things. Then I kind of wondered if this is like a reference. Could this car wreck almost be a reference to the actual car wreck that Yoongi had in real life? That was my first thought. Then this is because the car wreck, and I'm talking about the car wreck that he had when he was younger, that also inspired Amygdala, just for clarification. but this is the part that sets everything off in a sense, because this is the part where the piano burns, right? Which we saw kind of like throughout. And I wonder if this is like the reason behind it being that that this is maybe like spread in news to the others, and this is kind of why this is like brought up a lot, because maybe this is like one of the first signs of, you know, everything starting to deteriorate. So then we get to this spot here with Namjoon, and I think to me the thing that stood out the most was I have here that he needs to survive. So I'm kind of wondering if in this spot right here, that this, with it being chained up like this, I wonder if this is like kind of a cutting of connections to, you know, maybe like the previous life or like what he had always known. And so now, obviously, now that he knows what's going on, I wonder if like that's why he's like realizing, and he's like, wow, I've really, really done a number on myself. I really wish that I could love myself. That was my thoughts.
I was so good on myself. I was so good on myself.
So the very first thing that I thought was kind of interesting about this is obviously like taking the drugs and then going kind of like on a trip, if that makes sense, and having everything black and white here. But like, I almost wonder if the idea behind this was like that was actually kind of like blood, right? But then the idea of like no escaping and isolation, you have everything you need here. It's almost like a confrontation, right? Like, this is because of you. So now the interesting thing is that it's like he's free. I'm not quite sure how to connect that yet, I'm not gonna lie. But that's the painting. And the thing that caught me here is I know that I have seen this recently because we did it over on Tony's video, but there's in the fake love section, there's a pile of wrappers that they're laying on, or a pile of candy bars, and they're all Snickers. I could go for a Snickers, honestly. And the one thing that I kind of took that was off screen was talking about
That God's name is Abraxas.
Abraxas. From the information that I was given, is basically the god of like middle of the road. Like, he's not good, but he's not evil. So I did have one more spot where it's like the dark hallway kind of leads to this duality of I wish I could leave, but maybe I can't even fly. I can never fly. So I'm kind of wondering if this spot here is kind of more or less about self-doubt and just the kind of terror that comes being with being set free, right? Because like a lot of times birds kind of represent being set free. So to kind of summarize everything and kind of knowing what the book is about now, obviously I think that it comes with a lot of learning, right? You step into life thinking that you know everything when really you don't. And so then obviously there's a big old play of like figuring out who you are, kind of what you believe in, what meshes logically with yourself, and all this other stuff. And I think the idea is that this is, to me, this is kind of the self-doubt part where it's like, oh man, I don't know. I don't know what's going on. I don't know how to do this. And I'm really, really lost, and I'm really, really scared. And sometimes that can kind of create multiple paths of, you know, whether it be destruction, whether it be, you know, whatever. And so to me, this part is almost like the self-doubt part. And like I said, this is just kind of more or less what I'm noticing right now. I'm going to kind of take everything and mull over it and kind of give a final explanation of everything at the end. But this is kind of the things that I've had in my brain that I saw on the first take. So obviously I know that I'm trying to get as much information as possible. I'm trying to glean over everything as much as possible. But yeah, I know that I probably missed some details. Anyway. Whew. Okay. You know, in a sense, there are some things that are easier to understand about this than the I need you section. Because even though everything's a little bit more weird and drastic, the truth is that I think that when I watch this part, there is a lot of more like stuff that I'm more used to with like the writing and like imagery that we all use when you write. There's certain things that just kind of are always associated with like with this, and then this part is associated with that in terms of like literature and writing. Now, whether that will in the end play a role, I don't know. But as for now, this is the idea that I have going on. And I'm going to assume that this is kind of in terms of storyline and timeline, this is after the I Need You, because obviously, I think, and I think, maybe it's in the beginning, or maybe it's both, I don't know. But I feel like the reason why this is afterwards is because they're not together. This is like a solo thing. So it's kind of like, to me, the fact that they're all going through these struggles by themselves. And maybe part of the reason is that they're having such a hard time with being by themselves is because, you know, once you lose that friendship, once you lose that ability to kind of express yourself in a free, open, safe way with people that you can trust, it's very healthy. And maybe because the fact is that none of them have that anymore, it's causing a bit of a chaotic spiral out of control. And maybe that's what kind of leads to them coming back together. I'm not sure. But again, these are just my first initial thoughts. Anyway, let me know what y'all think. Yeah, we'll talk about this in the comments below. Thank you, and goodbye.